అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ముందుగా వనితా టీవీ ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ వార్షికోత్సవ వార్షికోత్సవం సందర్భంగా నేను యుఎస్ కాన్సులేట్ జనరల్ క్యాథరిన్ హడ్డాని కలవడానికి వచ్చానండి. ఈమె ఎవరు, ఏం చేస్తుంటారో మీకు ముందుగా తెలియచేస్తాను. చాలామంది కలలు కంటూ ఉంటారు, అమెరికా వెళ్ళి చదువుకోవాలి, అమెరికాలో ఉద్యోగం చేయాలి అని. మరి కన్సులేట్ అలాంటి వాళ్ళకి ఎటువంటి సర్వీసెస్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది? అసలు అలా చదువుకోవాలనుకునే వాళ్ళకి, వీసా కోసం ఎదురు చూసే వాళ్ళకి అసలు ఆ కన్సులేట్ ఏమని చెప్తుంది? అలాగే క్యాథరిన్ హడ్డా ఎటువంటి సూచనలు ఇస్తున్నారు? ఇవన్నీ మనం ఆమె మాటలో విందామా? మరి క్యాథరిన్ హడ్డాని పలకరిద్దాం. Hello madam.
Hi, how are you, Monica?
I'm good, how are you?
Thank you very much.
And welcome to your show.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here and these are very beautiful. Thank
you. Sishi Hadda.
Yes.
Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. My name is Katherine Hadda. I'm the United States Consul General here in Hyderabad, and my consulate helps promote U.S.-India relations between the states of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha.
Okay, that's nice. And to which state you belong in USA?
Well, I grew up in New York City, and one has to be careful. New York City is in New York State, but when I just say New York, a lot of people in the city act like the city is the only part of the state, so it's a little sensitive. So I always say I'm from New York City rather than just New York.
So when did you get the interest to work in this diplomatic services?
Well, I've been doing this for 30 years now. So
30 years?
Yes. Okay. So it started 31 years ago, actually maybe a little before that. And I entered the diplomatic service 30 years ago, as I say, and I've been serving in various places in Washington, but also in Europe and Asia and now South Asia.
Okay, so how did you feel Hyderabad is?
Hyderabad is really possibly my favorite posting ever. It's a wonderful place, and we have so much good work to do here, and the relations are really wonderful between the United States and India, as reflected in this area, but they're getting better all the time, and I feel we are helping to promote those good relations.
Okay, so how is the weather here?
Well, I think it's really wonderful weather. About 6 months of the year, I liken it to our weather in Southern California, which is considered some of our best weather. And it does get a little hot sometimes, but it's dry heat, so I find it's fine.
Yeah, it's just dry heat sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
shall we go in?
Yes, please come into the house.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Place is so beautiful. Very nice.
Very nice to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
It's my pleasure.
So, what time you come back from your work?
I usually get home at about 6 o'clock in the evening, and then I might do a little more work before we eat dinner.
Okay. So, please explain us a brief overview about Consulate and your responsibilities.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, we're responsible for leading on the relationship between the United States and Telangana and Andhra Pradesh and Odisha. It's a very multidimensional, positive relationship. Just here in Hyderabad alone, we have about 130 U.S. companies, including some very major companies with very large presence here, like Microsoft or Google, Boeing, Lockheed, and we help support those companies. We like to promote what they're doing so people are aware of the economic benefits for both our countries of having this commercial relationship. We're a consulate general, so a lot of what we do relates to consular work, and that includes visas. So we're very happy to promote people-to-people ties through the provision of visas so that Indians can travel to the United States for tourism, for work, for study, and actually we are the #1 post in India for student visas and the #5 worldwide in the number of student visa applications we process. So it's a very significant role that we have. And we also take care of 136,000 American citizens in our district.
Oh.
Many of them children who were born in the United States while their parents were working or studying. So that's a very big responsibility that we take seriously. And then we also work with Indian partners on a whole range of issues of interest to both our countries. For example, trafficking in persons. We're engaged with our partners in the fight against that. That's a problem for both our countries. So when we team up, we do better together. And we promote entrepreneurship and women's empowerment. There are really a lot of things that we do. But the overall goal is to make our two countries work even more closely and cooperatively together.
Every day we see a lot of students who would love to dream to go to US and study higher studies. What would you suggest them?
Well, I think the United States is really the best place in the world to study. We have about 4,500 accredited institutions for university and postgraduate study in the United States, and we are very proud to support that. What I would tell students is to really do a lot of research about the kinds of institution that will work best for them, and we can help with that. We have some offices at the Consulate who provide really excellent free information about the types of education available, and they can help not necessarily recommend specific schools, but the type of schools that students should consider. And what I would say is the geographical choices are huge. You know, we're a big country like India. We have many different United States in a way. So some people are more comfortable in big cities. Some people like more of a rural area, and we can offer, you know, all of that. And also just the types of study that they have. So it's a very important choice for a student. The other thing I would encourage is that students should always try and get their information and be aware that they don't have to use agents that, you know, some of whom, unfortunately, many of whom are quite honest.
So you say don't go through agents?
You don't have to. We offer a lot of free information, but also just be aware if you are going to get a consultant, you know, to find out a little bit about that consultant's bona fides, you know, how legitimate they are, because unfortunately what we find is there are some who are not acting in the student's interest. In other words, they will advise the student to do things like use false documentation, and you know, that's just wrong. That's always wrong, and that will always make a student ineligible to go to the United States. So what I would say is to find, you know, the best course of study suitable for the student. We also can give advice on financing options, because a lot of time we know that study in the United States, you know, can be a little costly, but they're typically, you know, ways to accommodate a student and their budget. So we can give advice about that also. And then just always, you know, be truthful in what is presented in terms of documentation. Those are the best sources of advice. I would also encourage female students to consider the United States and their parents. I think what we see is maybe half of the students.
So most of the time you see boys?
Yes, it's increasing. The number of female students we're seeing is increasing, which is very encouraging. But if you consider that at least in our area, about half the students at universities are female, we're not seeing 50% of our applicants. So I would just encourage female students to consider study in the United States, and you know, just know that campuses are quite safe. They typically have their own police force that works very closely with the local police force, and so it can be a very nurturing environment. And so, you know, they should consider definitely study in the States. The reason we'd like to see that, we benefit when students come to the United States, but we also know that when the students come home, a lot of times from the United States, they get the best jobs, the leadership positions, and so we'd like to see women be able to have those opportunities also.
Okay, you have come to Telangana in 2016, India?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you completed almost 2
2 years. It'll be 2 years and 2 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so what are your achievements and what you're trying to achieve more in the next few years?
Well, I would say one of the biggest achievements was when the United States and India co-hosted the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, which was last year, the end of November. That was a great moment in a lot of different ways. First of all, it was a chance for our two governments to partner together, and also for us as a consulate to partner with the government of Telangana. And it was a great moment to show the world our joint commitment as two countries that really support entrepreneurship, and especially entrepreneurship for women. So because the theme was built around, you know, supporting women entrepreneurs. And for the first time, the United States has joined with various countries for 9 years. This was the 9th time we did it. For the first time, over half the entrepreneurs were female entrepreneurs, which is really significant. So that was just a great moment, I think, for all of us. We've also done a lot of important work, as I say, pairing with our partners on a range of issues, from supporting, you know, education to and entrepreneurship to anti-trafficking. I think looking forward, in addition to continuing that kind of work, we really are in the middle of building a new consulate, which will allow us to do even more together. And that should be open, we're hoping, in early 2021, but there's a lot of work to do in the meantime to support that effort.
And you were in India from last 2 years, so, you know, festivals, Indian festivals?
I think they're, well, Diwali is coming up, which is a very joyous festival, Holi. They're all, you know, we have a wonderful community at our consulate. The majority of our employees are actually Indian, and we consider them, in addition to be subject matter experts, they're our cultural guides. I
understand that Consulate is taking doing a very good job when it comes to women trafficking and girls. What other steps you're taking, and what kind of focus you're showing on it?
On these issues?
Yes.
Okay, well, before I arrived, there was a very innovative program. We teamed up with a local NGO called Prajwala to do what was called a caravan that for the first time brought survivors, you know, women and girls who had been victims of trafficking, to every district in our 3 states. It was a huge operation. It involved cooperation with local police, with district governments, with a lot of NGO partners, and it reached 1 million people. And it was, it resulted in the arrest of at least 100 people. So we thought that was such a successful effort that earlier this year, we, again working with Prajwala and Catholic Relief Services, we put on a conference, a regional conference, which had participation by almost every Indian state, as well as 4 neighboring countries. And that was sort of a how-to. If you wanted to do a caravan, how would you do it? And I'm happy to tell you that virtually every state is taking some effort or plans to take some effort that maybe won't be exactly the same as our caravan, but will have the same principles of local buy-in and participation, and then the voice of the survivors themselves, which will be very significant. We've also paired up with a number of leading directors in Tollywood, and they have put at their own expense, they created really amazing, impactful public service announcements, we would call them short films, really directed at men and boys to talk about the harmfulness of behavior regarding, you know, trafficking. And so hopefully those will be released soon, and I think they will have the power to be seen by, you know, thousands if not millions of people. So we're very excited about that.
Okay, that's nice. And now you're talking about Tollywood directors. I would like to ask you, did you ever watch any Telugu movie?
Well, I
know you don't
want to see them, but it's hard not speaking Telugu. But I'm very aware of the industry here, and you know, I have met with a lot of directors. In fact, we just had Mohesh Babu in the consulate applying for a visa. A lot of them come through, and I've met them. I'll tell you, one of the striking things is how humble they are. Actually, how approachable these stars are. They're obviously very dedicated, but they're also, you know, just amazing people to talk to. They're very interesting. They care about a lot of the issues that we care about. They care about U.S.-India relations. So Mahesh Babu is filming a film in the United States. It's great to see the connection.
Oh, yeah, Mahesh Babu's movie. You must watch one movie, Bahubali.
Oh, well, that one I have seen, at least part of it. And there's a wonderful story with Bahubali and US-India relations. Do you know what it is? So we have a company called AMD that is a chip maker that did a lot of the special effects for Bahubali, and in fact also created a special camera that enabled things to be filmed in a way they had never been seen before. It had about 6 lenses, I think. That it was a 360-degree camera they created just for that movie. It's a great success story.
Yeah. Okay, so in the last 2 years, have you seen increased interest in women towards STEM fields?
Yes, I mean, I think what American companies, for example, just using that, example, they are hiring, excellent women candidates, and they make a point of hiring and actually supporting those women through their careers. So we are seeing that actually. And again, I would love to see them also continue their studies in the United States. I think it's a great opportunity.
Okay, in India, the focus is more on save girl child and educate your girl.
Yes.
So what's your opinion about it?
Well, I'm an economist by training, and there have been studies after studies after studies that show that when girls and women are educated and they participate in the economic activity of a country, the whole society benefits. Economies grow faster, communities are more stable, families are more stable, so I definitely support it. I've been personally very inspired by the number of people I've met here in India, male and female, who support girl-child education, both by running schools, just verbally supporting. It's really been remarkable, actually.
This channel, Vanitha TV, is mostly for women.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so as a woman, you have reached a very good place. You have worked hard. So what kind of message you want to give it to our viewers?
The first message I'll say is sometimes people ask me, what is wrong with Indian women that they don't achieve more? And I find that an extraordinary question because I find the opposite. I meet inspiring women all the time here. And so what I would say to a younger woman is to find those role models, to find the people who are inspiring to you, and ask their advice and ask how they got there and seek their help sometimes. I think we need to mentor each other. And so we can help each other. But the second bit of advice I would give is to really believe that you can do something, which is an easy piece of advice. The follow-through is a little hard. What we find, even in the United States, our space agency, NASA, just had its 60th anniversary. The former chief scientist of NASA, I met her, and she said to me, we were wondering why women weren't represented on these particular space missions, these difficult space missions, and we find they weren't signing up for them because they thought they couldn't do it. They thought they wouldn't be chosen. They thought they would make a mistake. And so they went and they trained people to take risk.
So we have to come out.
You have to come out, and that's as true here as it is in the United States or anywhere, just to take the risk. And sometimes you'll fail. And sometimes you won't have every qualification. Sometimes you'll have enough qualifications, but you'll learn more on the job. I think men know to do that. Men know to accept that challenging assignment, and they'll just learn what they don't know. Women tend to think they have to have everything in place before that challenging assignment. So I would say to take more risks, well-reasoned risks.
Okay, so as you are here from last 2 years, did you ever learn any Telugu words you would like to share?
Chala bagundi is my
answer. Chala bagundi. Any other?
That's about my favorite one. What would you like me to learn?
Okay, chala bagundi is your favorite word?
Yes, probably. So why don't, because it's so nice. But what would you teach me to say?
I will teach you, tell me, what would you like? I'll teach you that word.
How about
నేను చీర కట్టుకుంటాను.
నేను చీర
చీర కట్టుకుంటాను.
Okay, నేను చీర
కట్టుకుంటాను.
కట్టుకుంటాను.
Yeah, చీర is saree.
Okay.
I will wear saree.
Oh, okay. How you just sign me up to do that? Probably.
నేను వనిత టీవీ చూస్తాను.
నేను Vanitha
TV
TV
చూస్తాను.
చూస్తాను. I will watch
Vanitha TV.
I did guess that one. Thank
Okay,
you.
and being a very busy person,
Yeah.
you gave a very good time to us,
Thank you.
and you explained a lot of things about Consulate.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, and
Thank
in
you.
our style,
Thank
namaskaram.
you. Namaskaram. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you
it's
so
a
much.
delight. And thanks all your viewers on Vanitha TV also. Happy anniversary, Vanitha TV.